If you had lost all hope, I wouldn't be here. Upon walking into the Mercado classroom 217 on the first day of school, I thought I knew everything. Another class, another year. In my mind, I knew everything there was to know about writing. But then, just like Belle, I realized that there may be something there that wasn't there before. That was just the beginning of the long journey through that year, the first binder check. My mind was as hectic as the meaning of supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. I wish I was exaggerating. Night after night after night, writing, struggling to get every word and phrase perfect, not knowing my writer's voice. Every essay was different, every essay was unique, but none of the essays felt like mine. I only did what I thought was expected of me, but that wasn't good enough. I once again was Alice walking into Wonderland, and as she said, "It would be nice if something made sense for a change." So there I was, sitting in class, staring at the writing that I didn't even like. It might be weird to call Mr. Mercado my savior of English, but it's true in a way. I started to find my voice, finally, and then began to see the light at the beginning of quarter two. Quarter two. A little faith, dust, and Wikipedia. Quarter two. We are officially in the middle. And I'm starting to believe Sebastian when he said, "The human world, it's a mess." And that it was. The light started dimming, and I became increasingly annoyed with school-required books. I thought that honors English would be different, with books that are semi-easy to understand. I thought wrong. And while reading Julius Caesar, all I thought was, "E tu Mercado?" Get it? No, right. Shakespeare is never easy to read. However, I realized that under all those fancy words, it was simply a classic tale of deceit and betrayal. But after that, it was all about portfolio. And once again, it was supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. Quarter two was tough, with the light dimming and the projects and essays piling up. I had to just keep swimming in order not to lose my mind. But let's be honest. As the Cheshire Cat said, most everyone's mad here. However, my voice finally started coming in, and Wikipedia became my go-to source for light information in my essays. I don't know why, but my writing started to become about Christmas. While writing 3 essays about it, including my favorite essay name, Ho Ho Hoax, quite funny if I do say so myself, finally, Christmas was coming up, and it was like an indescribable feeling of warmth. And finally, the torture, unrelentless emptiness of second quarter was starting to melt away, unlike the snow. Third quarter, just keep swimming. This quarter started poetry. Yay! The one thing I'm actually moderately decent at, or so I thought. This was my first poem written in the Mercado classroom, and I quote, "The cat fell out of the hat. He said, 'What's the matter with that?' He purred, he combed his fur. The cat fell out of the hat. The hat fell off of the cat. It fell into a thick thatch. It pulled and pulled, it was silent and null. The cat fell out of the hat." Now this would be good if I was a 5-year-old. As Pinocchio himself put it, being bad at poetry is a lot of fun. But just like clay is sculpted and molded into something fantastic, so was my poetry. From basing my poetry on paintings really helped me focus and connect through writing. Being a person who enjoys painting and sketching, I felt truly infinite. And of course, started to annoy people with useless rhymes, such as, "I'm a poet and don't even know it, and I could rhyme, but I don't have the time." Finally, there was Poetry Slam, and losing my voice just in time for presentations, oh boy. I was shaking like an earthquake, but I got it over with. I felt like a flower which had just bloomed, and as Mulan's father says, A flower that blooms in adversity is the most rare and beautiful of them all.
You know, Mulan saved all of China. I finished Poetry Slam. They're pretty much on the same level.
My portfolios are starting to become routine instead of a burden. But best of all, the weather finally starts to cooperate and softball season starts. Last quarter, second star to the right and straight on till morning. Last quarter. Finally, I am this close to not being a freshman. However, last quarter just happens to be the most sentimental of them all. I think I shed a tear when writing my last portfolio. Writing the essays have become less of a hassle and more of a necessity. I am quite proud of my essays, this quarter with my own voice. My own voice, weaving in and out of sentences and phrases. However, looking back at my old essays is quite difficult.
Cue the sad music.
And those grammatical mistakes and sentence fragments and countless places. Oh God, help me now. I simply feel like hiding my old essays or denying that I ever wrote them. As Rafiki said, the past can hurt, but the way I see it, you can either run from it or learn from it. However, for some reason, I always want to, in some way, relate my essays to Disney movies. You know, get clips and lines of Disney movies. This year has been an extreme challenge on both my grades and my sanity. But through the year, this classroom has turned into a family. An ohana, as they say on Lilo and Stitch. And family means no one gets left behind. However, I won't mind leaving this summer. But still, I will miss those long stories at the beginning of class about interesting events in the everyday life of Mr. Mercado. Sometimes I do feel like my life is some sort of twisted Disney movie. Me being the princess, of course. However, Disney and their fantastical ideas have greatly impacted not only my personality, but my writing too. I am a Disney kid. I have battled dragons and pirates and evil queens. I have wished on stars and flown to Neverland. I have dreamed impossible dreams. I have watched magic and seen an elephant fly. I believe in writing, creating a friend who you've never met, a villain who you despise with every bone in your body, and a romance so real it makes you believe in true love. So sometimes we all need a little magic to become the writer we want to be. And sometimes we have to let it go and build a snowman. You can fly because every Disney movie first started out on a piece of paper.